It is not an anime in that way. But it is about...
Hello and welcome to the Casual Hour, a podcast ostensibly about video games, but mostly about audio issues for Johnny. I'm your host, Bobby Peace. Joining me as always, the gamer on the go, Chase Kinnicky, and the gamer that we allow to hang out that probably should go, Johnny Amizich.
Audio issues for Johnny sounds like the name of a children's book that teaches kids how to podcast.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. For those of you who are watching us live, I am on the far left of the screen. Hello, this is me, Bobby. Johnny is in the center, unfortunately, and Chase is over on the right. We are making what we call a shit sandwich tonight.
Our names are at the bottom of the screen, Bobby. They can see that.
They're really tiny though because of the positioning there. So
people
what are these names for ants?
God.
How are you all doing?
Not that you care, but
I don't.
I'm doing okay. Thank you. Thanks for asking. Thanks for at least having the, I don't know, common courtesy, whatever you want to call it.
It's not that. It's not a nicety. It's not a courtesy. It's none of those things.
I've been busy because unlike some people here, I've been working. I'm not just on vacation. Bobby, how long has it been since you've worked?
I actually worked yesterday and today. But before that, I had 8 days off, and oh boy, that was.
Did you play any video games?
What are those?
Yeah. Now, Johnny, I have a question for you. How old are you?
32.
Okay, so Bobby hasn't worked for 8 days. Johnny hasn't worked for 32 years.
You're damn right. You're damn right.
Ooh.
Hey, Joe, where the hell is my paycheck?
He's had a job. He's had a job, but he certainly hasn't worked.
What's this $1,400 bullshit? You said $2K. You said if you
what are you gonna do? Build another PC with it?
I'm gonna buy a 4K TV. Probably.
Fair.
Yeah.
I don't know. Fair. I should probably like pay off some credit card debt or something.
When was the last time either of you had like an extended period of time off? Have you taken any with pandemic time going on?
Christmas. I took off between Christmas and New Year's.
Extended? No, I haven't taken off more than like 2 days in a row, leading into like a 4-day weekend. So I've had 4 days off in a row, but I haven't had like a week-long vacation or time off of work in well over a year.
I was unemployed for about 6 months in 2019.
And that's just like being on vacation all the time. You know, nothing to worry about.
God, what a great time. What a great time to be unemployed. Because one, it wasn't a global fucking pandemic.
True.
So I could go outside and have lunch with friends. And two, Fire Emblem Three Houses just came out. And man, I got to play a shit ton of that game.
You did.
Without giving a fuck.
More than any one person should probably play, perhaps.
That's what we're here to do.
Good.
We're here to hear only about Fire Emblem Three Houses tonight. That's the only video game we're going to be covering.
Oh.
That's not true.
I don't know. I hope that's not true. I like that game, but
I did too. For those of you unfamiliar, tonight is a What You've Been Playing episode. That's an episode where we're going to tell you about the games that we've been playing, and then we're going to cover quite a bit of news. Hopefully, if Johnny did his homework, we'll cover some news. But if the news sucks, you know who to point to. Johnny's in charge of news. And we're going to say that right now because we forget to blame him for other things.
So in charge of news that on the day that I go to put news stories into the note, I find that someone has already added most of the stories.
That means that you're not doing your job.
Yeah, Johnny, I told you before, news happens all the time, not just when you decide to do your job.
Yes. Do your job.
Here's the thing. As long as the job gets done, then what business is of yours as to the timing of pasting those links into the note?
Okay. Well, we don't know. We don't know that the job has ever been done correctly because
how it hasn't been
Bobby
done.
and I do the job.
We got to
true.
Chase and I have to hash some things out. We'll be right back.
So on the back end of the episode, Johnny's going to tell you a little bit about some of the gaming news that we've been collecting over the last week or so. But before we get into it, there's quite a few games that I see on this list that I'd like to know a little bit more about. And to kick us off, Chase, how bravely have you been defaulting?
So there's a new-ish Bravely Default demo out there.
Not new, but new.
Yes, this is the second demo. It's the last one, and I know that because it's called the final demo. And
the definitive answer you're looking for.
Did they do anything stupid with the title and the demo?
Not of the demo, thankfully. But they give you 5 hours to. They basically just set you up in the first chapter. They skip the prologue and they say, "Here's chapter 1, go." We've got some semi-leveled, job-leveled characters for you, and go ahead and play the game as long as you can, because you got 5 hours. And if you want to, you can go back and play those same 5 hours again, but you can't play any longer than 5 hours on a save. And also, this save doesn't transfer over because they're skipping the prologue. So, whatever, just fuck around, have fun, see what they've done. And as you guys know from last episode when we had our February preview, I put this as one of my picks. I've talked about the first demo when that came out and some of the problems that I had with that demo, and I was pretty excited that Square Enix was asking specifically for feedback.
Yeah, you provided some, right?
Sounded like. Do I?
You gave him feedback, didn't you?
I did. Awesome. I gave them as much feedback as possible. In fact, I hit the word limit, and I went, well, fuck, I have more to say. But they, I was pretty impressed with them for being so open about wanting feedback, about taking it. They even featured in a Nintendo Direct where they said, here's some of the feedback we got. Here are some of the specific fixes we made, and you'll get to test these out in this final demo that's coming out. And So having a decent idea of what I played in the first demo to playing this demo, I consider they have made some relatively good fixes.
Nice.
The enemies are not as bullet spongy. I mean, there's no bullets in this game, but they take less damage to knock out, which is really nice. There are some good UI element upgrades here that are welcome.
Sure.
I can't tell if they've done anything to the voice acting, but some of the voice acting I thought was annoying in the original demo.
Primarily that one guy, right?
Yeah, Elvis, who's got like a Welsh accent, and I don't know if it's just, Mr. Drippy from playing Nino Cooney goes like, oh well, in it is fine now. But they might have just like toned him down a little bit.
Might have had some re-recorded lines, perhaps.
I can't tell. I can't tell if they're just re-recorded or if they're just playing fewer lines. But it definitely got on my nerves less, and I was I was okay with it. Like,
is that a February
totally
release? Is that February or March? Okay, so that is coming out.
Is it next week? Because this last demo was coming out like pretty soon before the actual game released, right? Hang on.
Yes, yeah. The original demo came out like almost a year ago, I think. But they also thought February the game 26th. Might come out.
And you were like, you're locked in, right? You're picking that up regardless.
Oh no!
Oh boy!
I don't know. Man, if you ask me,
God,
really turn you off that much? I think the demo is just kind of confirming some things that I have in my head. Last week I was pretty gung ho on saying, yeah, absolutely, I love this series. I mean, I do love the series. This is the art book for Bravely Default. I like Bravely Default, other than the ending. I like Bravely Second, other than the ending. But I love those games quite a bit. And playing through this, it feels a little too fiddly. I don't like the art style. I feel like they've gone in a slightly different direction from the 3DS versions, and I'm not super happy with it.
It's a bummer.
And I think the biggest problem I have though is the equipment stuff. Like, not necessarily the combat specifically, but the things around the combat. And one of the biggest things they've added, which I hate in all video games, is a weight system, an encumbrance kind of thing. And
that's the worst.
That is not.
I can understand why they did it. It's a way to kind of balance some things. If you change your jobs, some jobs are naturally will boost your weight limit, so you can, the big paladin looking dude, he can carry big swords because he's got a bigger weight limit. He can handle that. And monk can't, because the monk's supposed to be unarmed, so you're not supposed to have a bunch of crazy weapons on your monk and heavy armor. And I get that, but that's not what I want out of Bravely Default. So I'm not sure anymore. Part of me wants to see what they've got up their sleeve, see what bad ending they're going to do this time. Mm-hmm. Wants to go through and see what they've done with the jobs and play around and see all the cool costuming stuff that they do. I think the enemy design is really, really good. Those all look fantastic. There's like a big ogre guy who's just got these. He looks kind of like the Elephant Man in that he's got like just giant sores. He looks very ugly, but also in like a really plastic looking way that all of these characters look like, because they kind of have that tilt shift toy look to all of them, which is cool. But I specifically don't like the art style for the main cast. But I don't know.
So this might be a wait and see then.
It might be. I think I'm actually more excited. Maybe. I think I'm actually more excited to go back and play one of the other games. Like, maybe I should just play Bravely Default or Bravely Second again, because I really, really liked those games again up until the ending. I don't know. This went from a definite buy, I've been excited for this game for years, to I don't know if this is what I'm looking for right now, and that bums me out.
Do you think that if it comes out and it is reviewed well, that would influence your decision at all, or is this purely a Chase
more
Kinnicky?
Specifically?
decision.
What voice would persuade? Is it an Austin Walker? Is it a me? Like, who's going to get you? Who's going to get you on the other side of this argument?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think any of those people are going to play this game. Like, this might be a Jan Ochoa game. And I like Jan, so I would take his advice for sure. But I think maybe it might help if I started this game myself and went through that prologue and established those characters and knew those weight limits from the beginning. Yeah. There was something about, hey, just play around, but also we've pre-built all these characters and they kind of are already at their weight limits, so you kind of are stuck with what we have unless you want to screw them up somehow. And by the way, you only have 5 hours, so if you want to play this game efficiently, just keep what we have on them. So I'm wavering. I still might buy this game day one, but it's not a definite buy that I felt like it was last week or before I played this demo.
Well, look, I think if the demo does anything right, it's at least giving you a little bit more of that cadence on knowing what's going on. And it's unfortunate that it's maybe soured the hope for it a bit. But I mean, look what happened with the Christmas gift we got you. Like, you had a relatively difficult time with that given the hardware.
Maybe I should go back to that.
I mean, maybe you got the hardware for it now, and they got the big patch out. Like, it's worth a shot.
Yeah, I might pull up the Cyberpunk again. We'll see.
I mean, when you go into it without having spent any money and with like literally no expectations, you know, you're setting yourself up for success.
Chase, what else have you been up to outside of the disappointment of that demo? Was that the only thing?
I'll only talk about this one other thing because I'm going to leave the last thing for you because I know you've played it too. But
you can at least
I played it. Yeah, I can do that. But I played another demo, and this was the game last week when we were talking about February preview that this was kind of like a dark horse for me. Like, oh, you know, this puts peanut butter and jelly together, and I like those two things. So like maybe this will be good. And that is the Fallen Legion Revenants is the name of the game. And this is the one that looked like it had combat gameplay that was similar to Indivisible in the way that you had like a party and the buttons that you hit could kind of like combo and your characters each of the characters was assigned a button, and when you hit that button, that character would go up and make a slash. So you could do combo-y kind of stuff. And it also had an art style that I kind of dug, even though it was kind of that gothic Victorian stuff that I'm not too into, the Castlevania look.
Right.
Like Bloodstained adjacent.
Yeah, at least in setting. But I think the art style itself was closer to, you know, what I like out of Vanillaware games. And I know Johnny and I have both been playing some 13 Sentinels somewhat recently. And, you know, this certainly was no 13 Sentinels, but it had an art style that intrigued me. I tried that demo. I don't like that. I don't like that game. I don't think it's very fun at all. It's like coming off of a game like Indivisible. It feels incredibly just stilted. Just you hit the button and your character goes up and does a slash and nothing combos, like nothing. There's no satisfaction out of it. It's just kind of like a slash that goes across the screen. There's no rumble feel to it. There's no like cool splash that happens. There's no good sound. It's just like characters weakly slashing at just garbage enemies. They do have some kind of interesting things they do with the block. You have a block that you can turn on at any time, and if you time it correctly, you can deflect attacks back at enemies.
That's cool.
And that seems cool.
Yeah,
but sure. I felt like the timing on that was pretty specific and not something I got into a groove to. I did not like it at all. I didn't like the art style. The more I looked at it, the more I was like, this is pretty budget. The more I played, you're not even, it looks like you're just like running down a hallway and running into fights, and that's all that happens. Like you don't even control where you're running. It's just running to the right until you get to a fight, you do that fight, and then it keeps running you. And then once I finished a wave level, whatever, it would kind of cut to cutscene is probably generous, but a talking segment where some people would talk a little bit, and I think the writing's kind of bad, and then it would go right back to the next phase where you'd be running down a hallway. Exactly. I think they're cool ideas here. I still think mixing something like Indivisible and 13 Sentinels sounds like a recipe for success. This game does not do it. They took peanut butter and jelly and they made a shit sandwich out of it, as we established with Johnny. Exactly. And it was a bummer. It was a bummer. But I only wasted like 45 minutes on that, and then I went, hey, this is a game I don't need to buy anymore. That's good.
Yeah, saving those coins.
Thank God for demos.
Speaking of saving a little bit of money, the next game I purchased was discounted because I'd purchased other games in the past, and I only knew that because of my good friend and yours, Bobby Pease. And that game is Devolver Digital's newly published game, and that is Olija or Olija. I don't know how it's pronounced. And they don't say
Olija
because it's a pretty silent game. You guys know that for sure, or are you just guessing?
I'm guessing. There's like a very decrepit sounding voice that says it when you load into it, but it's so distorted and like fantastical that it's hard for me to be like, that's the definitive way to do it.
Yeah, this game's got like its own Simlish kind of language where just an old boat captain goes. Yeah, sure, I got that.
Is it Willem Dafoe's character from The Lighthouse?
I haven't watched The Lighthouse yet. I need to watch The Lighthouse. I think this game's cool.
This game's very cool.
Bobby, you've probably played more than I have. I finished. I got the first key to the Shadow Gate. Is that what it's called? I beat the Yellow Cape or whatever he's called.
Yeah.
Gold Cape and I don't know if he's a recurring boss or what, but I saved Olija, whatever. And then some other dudes are like, hey, cool, thanks for saving this goddess or whatever. We're gonna take her.
She's ours.
Yeah. Also, you fucked up, probably. Bye.
Yeah. Go home, strangers.
Yeah. So how much have you played more than me, Bobby?
No, I have intentionally kind of spread this out because I've heard that it's relatively like a smaller game, like somewhere between like 5 and 10 hours in length.
Oh, cool.
Which I'm all for, but I wanted to have something to savor a little bit, and I wanted to explore some of the things that it was offering because I didn't expect a ton from this game. I thought it looked cool when we did the preview for it last month.
Well, when we did the preview, we compared this game a lot to another game that was coming out around the same time, maybe even the same day, and that was the Cyber Shadow that was being published by Yacht Club Games. And I remember us all going like, well, Cyber Shadow looks like the better one of these. And
I disagree now.
I haven't played Cyber Shadow, so I can't say for sure, but I can say I really like what Olija's doing. That's a cool idea.
So how do you feel about this? Because you and I are probably pretty damn close where we're at, so let's try and tag team this a bit. The best way I can explain it is for being a 2D pixel art game, which sounds generic to say out loud, there's a cinematic quality to this game that's...
Yeah, there's an old adventure / platformer game called Out of This World or Another World, and it has that level of animation quality, that amount of frames to its animation. So even though it's pixely, it has a really smooth look to it, and it's great. But this game is an action game, whereas those were.
It's got such a great game feel. Like,
I think generally it does.
I think that because you basically can sub between a secondary weapon being a ranged or like a sword. That's what I'm using right now. I have a sword and I have a bow. But the real star of the show is this harpoon, this cursed harpoon.
I've been hearing about this harpoon and it sounds very cool.
Oh, it's insane. And so it's got a teleportation mechanic to it.
Yeah. So, first of all, what are you guys playing this on? Switch?
Chase is on the Switch, I believe, and I'm on PC.
Gotcha.
I would suggest people probably play it on PC. When I started that game up, there was some. It actually reminded me a lot of God, what's that other game I was really excited for that was pixel based, and then it came
Wildfire?
to the Switch and I didn't like it. No. This was the roguelike one, in the spacey kind of stuff with the mechs.
Oh,
I can't remember.
It was a Game Pass game. I know what you're talking about.
Void Bastards?
Yeah.
No.
No.
It's got like the. I'll look it up, Chase.
Yeah.
Star Renegade. Star Renegade.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's it. So similar to Star Renegades, when I loaded it up, there was a lot of slowdown. And also the same with Star Renegades. I went, this is a fucking pixel-based game. Why is there fucking slowdown? This is ridiculous. I know the Switch is underpowered compared to a PC or other consoles, but fuck this.
Right.
And it finally went fine. Like once I got into the actual game, it didn't matter. But it was kind of those beginning cutscenes that just gave it kind of a bad first impression. So I imagine it's probably buttery smooth on PC, and that'd be a great way to play it. I think it's fine on Switch if that's the only place you have to play. Go for it, but I know that it's downloaded an update since I bought it, and I played post update, and it still had that stuttery slowdown stuff at the beginning, which was kind of disappointing.
So the overall loop for it, Johnny, it's pretty damn impressive. So you've got a full blown character menu where you can sub in and out weapons and shit that you pick up. Your hub world or your base is this town that you come in to be, and you can bring people back that are going to be merchants. Or do other things. One in particular is there's a hat merchant, and you're getting materials out in the world, and you can come back and you can craft different hats that you equip that'll do different mechanics in the game. So like right now, I've got 2 hats that I like quite a bit. No, I got 3 hats, but the 2 that I've been using the most is one that will leech health off of the enemies around you, and the one that I really like, it's got a red feather in the hat, and when you do like your dodge or your harpoon move, the feather comes out of the hat, and depending on like where your progress bar is with it, it'll send one or multiple feathers following you that'll cut through enemies. So I might harpoon across the room, and there might be 3 other people there. I can pick them off with those feathers as I go across, and it's got a very satisfying, like the demolition. I'm sorry, of like how your enemies fall apart and kind of bounce around. The physics of that is really fucking cool. But the harpoon mechanic allows you to aim, and you'll get a reticule over an enemy that could be across the room. You'll fly across and attack them. And it also uses that for the platforming aspects that Chase mentioned earlier. Like it's a level design that like moves in blocks essentially. And so like there might be a spot at the top where you'll throw your harpoon up, it'll attack into an enemy. You teleport, and you're now in that upper echelon of the window, and it's really fucking slick how it does it.
I'm going to guess that somebody on this team played Hades, because there is with the spear in Hades, there is that power where you throw the spear and then you can teleport directly to it, and that is exactly what this is, except it's done in a 2D profile view. And also, like Hades, the hat that I'm most excited to get is the one that says, basically it turns your hat into a buzzsaw where you just throw it out and it spins and just cuts through motherfuckers. And I'm like, wait, so it's the Aegis shield? Fuck yeah. All right.
No, I was going to say the character from Mortal Kombat.
Kung Lao?
The dude.
Which one?
The dude who throws his hat and it
I think
has...
that's Kung Lao.
Okay.
I don't know, Mortal Kombat people.
Chase,
I do know the hat.
How do you feel about the music? Because I think the music's really well done in this game also.
Yeah, I mean the whole atmosphere. It's very little talking. Like we said, when it does talk, it does that Simlish kind of stuff. It puts minimal subtitles on the screen, but it is supposed to be a very lonely kind of game, even though it's also a game about gathering a group and trying to get home. But yeah, it's got the music ties into it with kind of some haunting, solitary sounding music, and I dig it.
So this game is, I think it's normally $20. If you've previously purchased one of the Devolver published games, there's a handful of them, you can get the game for $14.99. I don't know how long that's going for. It might be over, but there was a promotion to do so, which is, I think even at 20, there's a hell of a lot of value here for what this game is. And
so it looks like it's 15, and if you have Devolver Digital Games, it's $12.74.
Yeah, I think, Johnny, it's definitely worth picking up. It's a very low commitment. It's pretty easy to hop into. You don't have to spend a lot of time with each run that you're playing through it. The progression's really cool. I think stylistically, like this will hit a few categories that we'll definitely talk about at the end of the year. And
can't say that. It's the beginning of the year. You say that, you can start saying that shit in July. We need to put a moratorium on Game of the Year talk for 2021.
And
Jesus Christ.
I'm in it. There's nothing guaranteed
It's already in Bobby's top 5 games of all time.
We are professional podcasters, and
it's already in category. I have a list. I've already placed it on a list.
Best new character, hat maker.
Faraday's hat maker. But no, it's definitely worth checking out.
Here's the best way I can describe this game, and it's going to piss off Bobby so much, and that's why it's the best way to describe this game.
Ooh, yes,
it's a lot like Spiritfarer, but not boring.
Ooh.
Careful. I just had a moment with that. I had a friend of the show, Papa Vinny, crying about it, and that just like killed me.
I get it, but man, that game was boring. Like all the shipbuilding garbage and waiting for plants and hugging people and doing all their shit for them. And this game says, yes, this game similarly has a map, and you say, I want to go here, and then your ship, the ship dude actually takes you there, and it feels a little like Spiritfarer, and you get to these places, and it's a side-scrolling affair like Spiritfarer was, but instead of just like walking around and talking to people and being really boring about everything, it says, why don't you throw this cool-ass harpoon at shit and dash around and be awesome.
Since we're working on Game of the Year categories right now, can we have a category for Best Death Gargle? And that would definitely go to this game, because the gargling that happens when you impale somebody with a harpoon is so good.
Yeah, there's some good stuff. Good. There's a good variety of enemy types. I enjoy fighting a lot of those things. I think actually one of my favorite mechanics, the harpoon is the mechanic, but there's also just like you can dash, which just this guy does like a big jumpy roll, except he also, it takes a lot of recovery frames because he doesn't do it perfectly. And I love that. Like he just kind of like falls on his face, and you can also do it out of a jump. So you can just have him kind of fall on his face.
He's a bit of an outlier. Like he's a nobody. He's actually like kind of looked down upon, and he stumbles in.
He was the leader of his village. The whole point of the game is like there's some famine kind of stuff going on in Faraday's home or hometown, and they've lost some wars in the past. They can't even get enough food to pay the tributes that they owe through wars. So they get a group to go out on a ship and say, hey, we got to find something. We got to go. And then they say weeks later, they get caught up in a big storm. Some shit happens. They all get transported away, and the ship's busted up. Yeah, kind of a little bit, kind of. So now Faraday's trying to find members of his old crew and get them into a position where they can hopefully get back home. And because he's the one who found the harpoon, he's kind of the leader because he's got the cool cursed harpoon, and nobody else does.
Yeah. So yeah, that game's definitely worth checking out. I'll probably do like a quick look or something here soon to get that up on our YouTube channel.
I would love to join you for that.
Yeah, I would love to have you on there. Let's make that happen for sure. Really, really quick, I just want to give 2 brief updates. Hardspace Shipbreaker continues to be a great game, and Johnny's going to talk more about that because he started playing it. But I did unlock the Javelin class for the ship, and that's really fucking cool. These are the ones that they brought back in from like outlying systems that have ghost qualities to them, and it's really, really fucking wild what they're doing with it.
Okay, I don't know if I want to play this game anymore.
It's not. It's more AI stuff. It's not like what you're expecting. Like what you're when I say haunted.
If you're trying to get me on some Dead Space bullshit, then you can.
No. It's nothing like that. But the Javelin class is a really fun ship to take apart. Definitely worth checking that out. And then Monday night, I fired back up Satisfactory and decided to start a new world. And I have played a little offline to get my bearings back on that. And that game has immediately sunk its teeth back into me. It is so fucking cool. It's a really good game for the stream because it gives me some downtime to talk to people because you are crafting things, and that's pretty much like just holding down a button while it's doing its bit. But I did start in the Northern Forest this time, and that's a really cool portion of the map. And using what I knew about the game, it's allowed me to progress a bit quicker and I'm having a ton of fun with it. And if time allows, I might do some more bonus streams with that. I think that would be kind of a fun segment to keep going, to watch this factory grow over a few weeks period, playing that particular save. But that is a very, very, very good game, and
it's an incredibly cool video game.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yep. So both of those are worth checking out. I mentioned on the stream, going between Hardspace Shipbreaker and Satisfactory, there is like a definite common thread from like a working class standpoint, and then just the future elements of it and space elements. Like it seems like, in my mind, I've conjuncted like these are two people working for the same conglomerate, right? Like I'm doing work on this planet. The leftover debris from my job is being taken apart by my character up in Hardspace, and like I've made this crossover event that I can't get.
Headcanon.
I can't shake it.
Now, where does Jessica Telephone come into this? Now that we're
it's more about
headcanon.
the hot dog fingers,
Jalen hot dog fingers,
the chocolate starfish, and the Jalen hot dog fingers. That's who I'm really rooting for.
Requiescent violence, Bobby.
I'm a big baseball fan, as you guys might know.
Oh, we know.
They have teased baseball coming back soon, and I don't know if I care.
Oh,
it had its moment.
Yeah, it did, and I think it was exactly what I needed in the moment. That was
like Requiem for a Dream.
No base. Yeah, it's like, hey, there was no baseball going on. There was a global pandemic happening. My fantasy team couldn't go anywhere because, again, there was no baseball going on. This was like the perfect thing I needed at that time, and now I think I'm okay. I do want to see what the fortune cards were, the Arcana cards that each team got.
Where Chase is saying that he's not going to play baseball anymore.
Oh, I'm not. I think I will briefly check in to see what those Arcana cards actually did for each team, and then I'll probably call it a day. Yeah. I'll keep following the Twitter accounts, and I might enjoy it from afar like that. But I think I'm kind of done playing baseball.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mark it,
dude. So that's the update for me. Again, playing some really cool shit right now. Being that it's February 3rd while we're recording this, the amount of quality that I've played in January is pretty impressive. And there's some
already made his top 10.
I already made my top 10 for the year. I'm good. I can just relax and play games. It's done.
Yeah, but he just took Vinny Caravella's top 10 and went, these are mine now.
There's worse things I could do.
Yeah, you could make worse choices.
Johnny, my bad choices have seemingly crawled over into your headspace.
Because like what always happens, one of us discovers a thing, and then hey, I really think you should try this out. I think you'd really like it. And they're like, oh, I don't know, man. I got enough on my plate right now. And then like 2 days later, the other one sends the other a picture of the thing installing on their computer, or
building a computer,
or getting a new mechanical keyboard. Anyway,
we can't just like show. I don't have a keyboard to show.
Well,
I could show this Art of Bravely Default book again.
That works too.
That's nice. So I downloaded Hardspace Shipbreaker. I have only played through the very first mission, but I can already tell the tone that it's taking. It's very let's say anti-capitalist message that is probably very intentionally spreading. The guy who talks to you on the radio, I like him quite a bit.
Weaver
already. Yeah. It's like, now you're going to want to go ahead and be real careful with that. I will say I was getting used to the controls because you're supposed to be moving in 0G, and you're welding these, or you're grabbing these two antennas off of this tutorial object, right? And you have the ability to reel stuff into you with the tool. And I didn't time it properly. And so I got hit not once, but twice with those antenna. It cracked a hole in my visor. And so the whole time I'm doing this mission, I'm dealing with a
Did the music get weird when you did that?
A little bit. It was more like just a alarm going off, and also like a whistling, like the sound. I was like, "Is my oxygen going to run out? What's going to happen?" And then I was able to complete that tutorial. I haven't been able to go back to it since. Honestly, like I haven't been playing a ton of stuff at night. I've been really just kind of tired, going to bed pretty early the last few nights. So my gaming has been not.
It sounds like a man who's not played a lot of Super Robot Wars.
That's true too.
I haven't played that for a few days.
I think Hardspace is a really great game to end the night with. It's a great before bed game.
It's like a puzzle.
It's like a puzzle, and it's like to your point, the tone, the pacing of it. Because I mean, again, like the game by default is supposed to be 15-minute chunks. That's how they've done this. So like, what can you do in 15 minutes? Chunks. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. It's really, really just phenomenally well done.
I can't wait to play it. Really cool. I think we talked about it. Did we talk about it in the February preview that the console version's coming out maybe like in June or July or something like that?
We did. We gave everybody a little nugget into our crystal ball because nobody knows when games come out until we tell them.
I do wonder though if that game is going to or already did, I guess, since it's out. If that game pulls like an Umurangi generation where it feels like it's supposed to be a menial task kind of game, but then there's some story that sneaks into it and maybe changes fundamentally what the game kind of feels like it's about.
Yeah, not to interrupt, but apparently they're supposed to on like one of the next updates actually give you the first chunk of actual story.
Oh, cool.
That's what I was reading, and because I know on the stream, I pulled up one of the like found objects about the machine god, and I've since then uncovered more of like sequential things of like people who are like, I have to stop what humanity's done, and like all this weird shit that goes into it. So you might be onto something, Chase. There could definitely be a bigger thing happening, like masked in this, like I'm just a dude taking apart ships.
Just a drone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Bobby, you did mention, I think you mentioned during your kind of quick look of it, your stream, that it does just have a mode that says, I just want to break down a ship. Let me just break down a ship. Yep. And it just lets you.
There's a free play option. And then there is a mode that you can log into it where you don't have any of the timers. So no timer for your oxygen. Yeah. And it's just like, hey, this is more of a relax. I just want to load up a ship. I want to take my time just figuring out how to take it apart. And I mean, like, I've played this game a lot. And there's been things that I've been working on where I'm like, holy shit, I didn't even know that this was a part that I should have taken off that can go to the barge versus going to the processor. And you really, like, I mean, I had thrown away a lot of stuff that is definitely salvageable in another way. And my goal right now is to have a
one Spaceman's trash is another Spaceman's.
Spaceman trash, that's trash. What they call me. But no, I think that you'll like it, Chase. I know that you like to tinker. I know that, like, it's a great game to just, like, throw a podcast onto, listen to that while you're doing it. Like I really like that for Satisfactory and for this, because I've been able to like accomplish a few things.
Kind of vibe, for sure.
I could see this being a game where you go into that mode, you say, just give me a ship, turn off the timers, turn off the oxygen part, and just I just want to break down the ship. Let's just do it. Have some fun, see what it's like.
Talking shit, man. Real cool.
Yeah, I will be checking out more of that game for sure.
What else?
I've also still been playing a lot of Hitman 3.
That was a really fun stream. Thanks for making that appearance.
Are you playing Hitman 3 or are you playing Hitman 1 and 2 in the 3 engine?
I haven't gone back to the first maps. I'm still waiting for them to tell me how I get my Steam version of Hitman 2 into my Epic Games version of Hitman 1 and 3. They said that'll be coming in the next few weeks. But yeah, I will have all of those levels available to me. And I have played and really enjoyed the first two games, but I don't know if it's just hitting at the right moment. But this is the game it's all I'm thinking about right now is playing more Hitman and doing the challenges. And I know I wasn't the sneakiest assassin on that stream on Sunday.
You were sloppy.
I felt
you might as well
pressure.
Been at 2 a.m. at a Taco Bell. That's how sloppy you were. You were sloppy. I felt like I could have done a better job. And I was just
probably. Well, when I'm playing by myself, I'm much more methodical.
I pump into shit.
And, I'm exploring the level a lot more, taking my time. I wasn't sure how that would play out on stream, like being that slow with it. When things get spicy, it gets entertaining, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
that poor woman.
Yeah. So I've been playing through all the missions that I beat already on the PS5 version, because yes, I did buy this game twice.
Been there.
Supporting an independent developer,
Yeah.
Which is technically true. They just happen to have 200 employees. And yeah, I don't need to talk.
That's more than Google has. We'll get to
that.
Hey.
Yeah, that game is great. It's so good. I love it so much. I'm excited to play the first two games maps again on my fancy PC.
Do you think you'll ever stream that again?
Yeah. I definitely.
Can you be better next time?
Yeah, I will.
Get good.
I will slow it down. I will
get good, kid.
Be a much better Hitman. Other than that, the game
you were like Johnny English versus Agent 47.
Oh no. So anyway, the other game that I've been playing a lot more of, or more than anything else really, is Minecraft, and that's been the game I've been playing with Jude this past week. I also finally checked out the RTX mode.
Jude likes Minecraft?
He's he's into a little bit. He only received like $40 in mine coins for his birthday from various people.
They're called Doge coins.
Invest in Dogecoin. So that RTX mode, Bobby, I know you talked about it last year. It's incredible. Like
it's nuts. It's absolutely nuts.
It made me. I think I'm probably going to start my own solo survival mode just in that mode, just because it's so nice to be in. It looks.
I've been really tempted to stream that because I think it's one. I mean, we've got a long history, you and I, with Minecraft. Mm-hmm. We've been on a couple different servers together, and that game. I've talked at length before about like how important that game is to me and how it got me through a rough season of my life. But I think that what they've been able to do with something that's such a known quantity at this point in time, like it's the it's the Target T-shirt aisle, right? Like what Minecraft is.
Yeah, it's an evergreen game, I would say.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I can go back to Minecraft at any time and get some sort of enjoyment out of it.
What stood out to you the most when you fired that up? I mean,
just the way the light bounces off the water and diffuses through the trees and stuff. I just poked around there for a minute, so I haven't done any actual mining, but I really want to get underground and see what it's like to have torches and how it handles diffusing that light throughout the area.
You know how like there'll be those little segments when you're running and you're not really going down deep, but there'll be a little cavern that's maybe like 10 feet deep, right? You go into it, there might be some coal or whatever. Mm-hmm. I hopped into one of those, and I kid you not, man, I got to the end of it. I turned around, and the way that the light had been coming in from this tiny hole and was hitting the blocks of coal and even the ground of this cavern, like it was one of the most picturesque things. Like, dare I say, one of the more impressive things I've seen on my PC. And like, if you had told me that I'd be like singing the praises of a game like Minecraft being the game that like made me say, well, this was worth it. Like it's definitely, it's something to think about, and it's really impressive what they did. And I think just to showpiece how it can run and how it can look, that's worth a stream in itself. It's really great.
I think it's the best example of ray tracing for me that I've seen in a game. Like
these blocks shouldn't look this good.
Yeah, exactly. But the real story I wanted to tell about Minecraft was something that happened last night when I was playing with Jude. He said he wanted to do, I forget what he called it, but he was like, we start in a new world and we just have to make stuff and then try and kill each other. And so like, okay, so that's fine. So
sounds like a very level-headed approach to playing a game.
Split up, we
30-minute no rush.
Yeah, we split up, we get our wood, we start building some tools. And I'm ashamed to say, I got griefed so hard by my 8-year-old son last night. Like,
not surprised.
He killed me like 3 times, and finally, okay, I'm gonna get some iron.
How loud was he being?
I'm gonna make some iron stuff. And then he found me on the map, and I had like blocked myself in because I thought if I could slow him down, then I can get ready to attack him back. And he just murdered me and took all my stuff. So then after that, okay, I'm going underground. I'm gonna get some wood up top. I'm gonna head down. I found some diamonds. I had a diamond sword. I had all this nice stuff that I'd found in like a 30-minute span of time. And he was trying to tell me that, oh, Dad, let's stop this. Let's just play together.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, that's fine. Yeah, we can just play. Because I found a really cool cave. You can come explore that with me. And so he turned it on creative mode so he could teleport to me. And when he did that, he died. For some reason, so he fell and died.
We call that a bottom lesson.
Yeah, I was nice. I picked up all his stuff so it wouldn't despawn. This little asshole respawns and literally stabs me in the back.
Your son's an asshole.
And
I'll say it. I'll be on the record. Jude, kind of an asshole.
Yes, dick move. I was pissed.
And listen, I've played Minecraft with your son, and everything was fine. He's like, this is a shared chest. Put your stuff in it. It's going to be great. And I dropped my shit in it, and guess who took my shit? Jude. And then guess who came over and tried to hit me with my own shit? Jude. And guess what happened, Johnny? Your son learned a valuable life lesson. You don't hit Uncle Bobby, because I fucking wrecked your son in Minecraft. And he was crying to you and your wife, and I would do it again. I would do it 1,000 times over to teach him that lesson. I will absolutely take your son to school.
I was up here on the computer. He was downstairs in the Xbox.
He lacks discipline, Johnny, and I'm here to give it to him.
Okay. I was like, okay, time to get ready for bed. This is bullshit. And yeah, I was so mad. I trusted. He does the same shit to me in Among Us. Okay, so there is a task in Among Us that's a visible task, which means if you see someone do it, you know that they're not the imposter. It's called scanning. So every time we play, it's like, oh, Dad, I got scanned. Come watch me. And he just, 3 out of 5 times, he just is the imposter and he kills me in that room. And I should learn my lesson, but he's my child.
First. And
if there's anything in this world that you should be able to trust, it's your son. But apparently not.
Absolutely not. No.
So yeah, that's it for me. That's my story.
We are the shittiest to our parents and to the people we are closest to. You feel like you can be the shittiest to them. It's okay.
Yeah, but it comes from a place of love most of the time, right?
I don't know. In Jude's case, those don't sound like loving things.
He's just malicious.
Your son might be a psychopath. I don't know.
Anyway.
I mean, I know where we get it from.
Well, speaking of unexpected surprises, I have prepared an unexpected surprise for all 3 of us. I will even be surprised.
Do I click on this link now?
We're gonna do what?
Do I click on this now?
Sure. Yeah, go for it. So, gentlemen, this last week, I know we're going to get to the news segment. This is kind of news, but also kind of not. So I'm taking it over. Johnny can take over the news when I'm done.
It's news to me, damn it.
Sony put out its PlayStation Wrap-Up 2020 this last week. I've been seeing people post like, oh, these are the games I played. We did this with the Switch. I don't know if we announced these on the show, but Nintendo also had their kind of annual wrap-up. And we all looked at those and saw how much Animal Crossing I played and went, fuck,
it's a lot of crossing animals.
So I thought it would be fun if we all looked at this PlayStation wrap-up for each other today, sight unseen. We have no idea. So hit that link. It takes you to the IGN thing, which will take you, if you click the first link there, it will take you to the PlayStation website where they will show your shit.
I'm there.
So let me, while you're getting that pulled up, I'm just going to put this out there for some context. It'll be brief. So when the prior generation of consoles came out, I had jumped over from being primarily an Xbox and Nintendo player over to the PlayStation 4. I just wasn't sold on Xbox One. I did the half step upgrade to the PS4. I'm sorry, the PS4 Pro. And then around the time that the Xbox One S came out, it enticed me to like come back over and grab that. So I ended up getting back on Xbox and PlayStation. I moved slowly back over to being primarily on Xbox when Game Pass and stuff was coming out. And then almost a year ago, it'll be a year ago at the end of this month, I built my first PC and moved primarily over to that. So PlayStation has been slowly kind of fading away from every game I would play on this platform to being primarily like exclusives for Sony. So the numbers are a little different. But yeah, pour one out. But that's a little history for me on what you're going to hear this past year, especially. There wasn't a lot that I exclusively speaking for Sony in 2020 that I checked out.
All right. Well, now that Bobby's done all of his excuses, Bobby, why don't you go first? I don't even know how this page is set up. I don't know if it shows you like your top played games first.
I'll try my best.
Yeah. Go through.
Should I try and bring it over onto the stream, or should I just talk through it?
Johnny and I aren't going to be able to do that, so I just talk about it.
So the first thing it tells you is like the number of games that you played, which I've played 11 games on PlayStation in 2020. And then it gives you your top 3 games. So my number 3 game at 31 hours is The Last of Us Part 2. Coming in second place is Final Fantasy VII Remake at 48 hours. And logging in 89 hours of gameplay, the number 1 slot was Destiny 2.
Hey,
interesting. I wonder if Destiny 2 will come up for anybody else here.
I doubt it. This tells me that my top genre was first-person shooters. It also lets me know that in Ghost of Tsushima, the entire base of PlayStation users has slaughtered 834 million combatants in that game. It tells me that my total hours of gameplay in 2020 for PlayStation only was 263. 193 of those were played locally, and 70 of those were spent playing online with other people.
With me, you mean? Probably just me.
Just with Chase. 200 million total hours played of The Last of Us Part 2 collectively of PlayStation users. And it says I played 90 days worth of video games in 2020. And my biggest night to play was Monday nights, and then followed up by Wednesday and Friday and Saturday. Sunday, I didn't play a lot of video getting
the day you went to church and
started getting my life right. The top 3 PlayStation Now games in 2020 was Spider-Man, Days Gone, and Horizon Zero Dawn.
Okay, I think we've gotten far enough. Like I want to know more. Just like
one last
number
thing,
of games.
I unlocked 103 trophies in 2020.
Okay, that's a good stat. I do want to hear that stat too. Johnny, why don't you go next?
All right, I played 27 games on my PlayStation last year. My top games, number 3 is the Final Fantasy VII Remake at 41 hours, Ghost of Tsushima at 49, and number 1 at 81 hours is Spelunky 2.
Okay.
I imagine, were you always playing that game with Jude, or
he played it by himself?
Did he play some? Okay.
He did, and he usually plays under my profile.
Boosted. Yeah. You got a little boost there.
I mean, but we played a lot of that game together.
You did.
My top genre was action adventure with 206 hours. I clocked 340 total hours of gameplay. My hours played locally is 327, 13 played online, 12 in VR. And I played 132 days last year.
And trophies?
Trophies, 91.
Cool. Bobby, how many hours did you have? Johnny, you said 380?
Total play?
340.
Mine was 263 total on PlayStation 4.
340, 263. All right. Let's see how this goes. I played 18 games this year. My tops. Oh God. Oh no.
This was your idea, Chase.
Oh no. My number 3 game. You guys want to take a guess what my number 3 game was?
Pantsu Dragoon.
No, fuck off. Come on, give me a real guess.
Super Robot Wars.
No, I play those on Switch now. Okay, my number 3. This is a surprise to me. I thought it'd be Final Fantasy. I felt like I spent about as much time as you guys did. But I spent 38 hours playing Genshin Impact. Like, all right.
Impressive.
I played most of that on my fucking iPad, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah. I haven't picked that game up in a long while.
Mm-hmm.
The artists I follow on Twitter are still going nuts over posting whoever the new character is.
It's got such a base on Steam right now, too.
Yeah.
It's
doing really well.
On Twitch. There's still a lot of people playing on Twitch.
Yeah. My number 2 game, God damn it, is SD Gundam G Generation Genesis.
Hell yeah!
Jesus,
with 123 hours.
It's a lot of Gundam.
It's a lot of Gundam, and that game.
That's
I like that
nothing
game.
compared to what's about to happen. Nothing.
No, it's not. So wait. So tell me one more time. It was 340 for Johnny. It was 263 for Bobby, right?
Yeah, 263.
Okay, my number 1 played game with 462 hours. Fuck. Destiny 2. Good God.
Honestly, less than I expected. I'm a little let down, if I'm being quite frank.
And how much of that time is just in orbit while you're doing other things?
Very little. When I was playing. Let's see. I didn't kill anybody in Ghost of Tsushima because I played good games this year. I had 716 hours of total gameplay in 2020. It's fun.
Yeah.
This one's important. Zero hours played in VR. Holding it down. Let's see. I played in 177 different days. My top day of the week was evenings on Saturday. That's actually surprising me. I thought it would be like Tuesday evenings because that would have been the Destiny reset. And that one is relatively high, but it was a lot more on Saturday and Sunday. That's interesting. And trophies, I earned 130 of them. That's cool. I think this is fun. I like data. The data stuff is neat. And I mean, as much as it obviously pains me that I play so much goddamn Destiny.
It's
a lot of Destiny.
It's always
a good game.
Impressive to me. Talked about this before. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. Smurf, I think, even brought it up one time in chat that how do we manage to do as much as we do? And I'm like, it's that podcast curse where you're chasing games through the podcast. And now that we're doing more, like we're bringing the video stuff that I was doing with Lumberjack Smack over to the show a bit and like really combining forces there, it really puts in perspective, like, what are you spending time with? And Chase, I am still blown away that for 5 years, we put this show out for the better part of every fucking week. Sometimes bonus episodes, sometimes we miss an episode. But the fact that you've been able to play that much fucking Destiny and still bring new stuff to the table, still find times to check out other shit, and balance other games when really Destiny 2 demands to be it. It wants to be it. And you've done a goddamn good job of giving it what it's asked for and then some. But
well, let me tell you guys, in the middle of a pandemic, when you're single, it's pretty easy to play.
You hear that, ladies? This is a man that can balance many plates.
Oh God, yeah, man. There's a time where I was dating a girl and I didn't play a whole lot of Destiny. It was good times. And then, God, this is terrible to say, but I'm gonna say it because fuck it. It's not terrible about her. I got broken up with over the phone when I had to pause a game of Destiny. Like, it wasn't like, hey, you play too much Destiny. It was like, I'm calling you on the phone over a weekend as I was on the moon. This was Destiny 1. I was just on the moon and then like got the call like, hey, can we
certainly
talk?
weren't over the moon after
and
this
then,
call.
And then after the call, I was like, fuck. And I didn't play Destiny for like a week because it hurt. But I got over that. As you can plainly tell.
Oh my god!
Holy shit! I've played a lot of Destiny.
Well, you've done something pretty miraculous. On top of balancing all this, you brought Johnny back into Destiny.
Yeah, I'm surprised about that. I'm glad. It's been fun. It's been fun to get to play. We still need to get Johnny as Hawkmoon. Who knows when that'll be?
Yeah, I got a button. I definitely need to play some Destiny this week and button up a few things as we transition over the news here.
Right. Is that a news story? I don't know if we put that in the news.
But I mean, we can bring it up now because it's relevant.
Sure. Yeah, Destiny's new season starts next week, next Tuesday. So I'll be playing that for sure. Obviously.
Yeah, I think that we're all kind of planning on hopping on. I might even just throw the stream up Tuesday night while we're hanging out and just have that going because it's a new season. Probably some cool shit to check out.
Yeah, Bobby, we at least need to do. I believe it's that high celebrant mission that bugged out for us when we tried it.
Yep.
I think that might go away at the end of this season. So
we got some time to do it for sure. But yeah.
All right.
Season of The Chosen launches on February 9th. Looks like the Cabal are coming back. It looks like Callus's daughter has a bone to pick with you. And there seems
cool
to be
new bow.
Yeah, cool new bow, and there's some changes to like how you progress with the seasonal items, specifically the weekly bounties, which I think, from what I've gathered, I'm not a big Fortnite fan, but what I've gathered is it's a similar layout over there on Fortnite for how they do their seasons. So for better or worse, that's how we're going to do it over in Destiny now.
Yeah.
But Johnny, we'll default over to you.
Hang on. Before we do that, I have another surprise. There was a link at the bottom of that page. I don't want you to click it. But link at the bottom of our show note. I have it pulled up here, and I haven't looked, but there was an article that I saw today that said the 15 best Nintendo multiplayer games of all time. And I think it would be a fun challenge. I have not looked at this list at all. I saw the title and I thought that might be fun.
Okay.
I would like us each to guess 3 games, and let's keep them different. And let's do 1-1-1 and then 2-2-2, 3-3-3. Okay, Bobby's going first. He's saying GoldenEye. I'm going to write these down. GoldenEye. Continue. Johnny, what do you think?
Can I also say GoldenEye?
No, you have to say something different.
Super Smash Brothers Ultimate.
All right. Johnny gets Smash. I'm going to say I doubt they're going to have more than one Mario Kart on here, so I'm just going to say Mario Kart.
That was my next one.
So, and I'll let Johnny also just have Smash in general, because I feel like they won't just put a single Smash game in there. Bobby, you're next.
Splatoon.
Okay.
Oh, what other multiplayer Nintendo games are there?
Johnny, come on.
Mario Party.
Ugh, gross. You're probably right, but it's gross.
So okay, I was thinking online multiplayer.
No, it's any multiplayer. Like,
okay. All right.
Bobby said GoldenEye, so come on.
I'm sorry. My brain is broken.
I'm going to see if this is a... I would not specifically say this is a multiplayer game, but it has enough multiplayer elements. I mean, I feel like you have to put Pokemon on here.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Or at the very least, Pokemon Stadium, but I want to say Pokemon is like... They're going to have Pokemon in there.
I got one more, right?
You have one more. Each of us has one more.
Wii Sports.
That's an excellent choice, I think. I feel sad that I didn't say that before. Johnny, what's your last one?
Going with my heart here. It probably won't be on the list, but Super Mario Strikers holds a very special place in my heart.
I could actually see that being on there.
Can we click the link?
No. I haven't guessed yet. I have a third guess. Johnny, is there a specific Strikers that's good? Supercharged or whatever they're called?
The first one on GameCube was always my favorite.
Okay. Man, this one's tough. I gave myself the toughest job by being last. I don't know if this is going to be a super popular one either, but I'm going to say WarioWare Smooth Moves for the Wii.
I thought for sure somebody would say Mario Party.
Johnny did. That was the second one.
Oh, I block him out. I got a filter on. Sorry.
Fair enough. All right, let's go down. Let's see. I mean, there's so many other Mario sports games here that we could have said. Mario Golf, Mario Tennis. I'm sure they're both going to be on here too. Yeah. Let's take a look. Okay. Number 15 is Pokemon Stadium. All right.
That counts.
I got a point. Got a point. Number 14 is Super Mario Strikers. Congratulations,
Damn, Johnny. All right.
Good for you.
Yes. Finally, there's some other sensible people out there in the world.
This is Den of Geek. I don't read their stuff generally, so I don't know if they're a good site or a bad site. But they do say while the Mario Golf and Mario Tennis franchises are better overall, true. Super Mario Strikers is arguably the most enjoyable Mario sports game Nintendo's ever made. Anyway,
yeah,
yes.
Legend of Zelda: Four Swords Adventure, Splatoon 2, good for Bobby.
Hey,
nicely done. Super Mario 3D World. I guess we'll find out here in a couple weeks or so.
Right? Yeah.
In a week, I think it's next week. I believe
next week.
F-Zero GX, interesting. Tetris 99. That's a
good one.
Tetris in general should be on.
Yeah,
I feel bad about that. Ooh, Advance Wars Dual Strike.
Oh, hey, I love Advance Wars Dual love Strike. On there.
That game fucking rules. Hey, number 7, WarioWare Smooth Moves.
Okay.
Number 6, Mario Party 4 specifically. So I'll give that one to John.
None of the other ones are good for multiplayer. Only the fourth one.
I wouldn't even say the fourth one's good. Number 5 is New Super Mario Brothers U and New Super Luigi U, which I guess I haven't played U with people. I played the Wii one, and I had friends who were assholes. Like I was playing with Jude, and would just like purposely jump on your head so you would get knocked down and fall.
Sounds like a Jude ass move.
Yeah. Or they'd pick you up and throw you into a pit. Yeah, fucking assholes. Number 4, GoldenEye 007. Congratulations, Bobby. Bobby, again, with Wii Sports at number 3. Bobby's cleaning up here. So let's see. Of everything we've said, I haven't looked at number 2 and number 1 yet. Everything we've said has been on the list, but Smash and Mario Kart, which were Johnny's and my number 1s, there are 2 more spaces. Let's see what it is. Number 2, Super Smash Bros. Melee. And number 1, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Congratulations, guys. I feel like we know our shit.
We do know our shit. There's one thing to point out here also. I don't know if I knew this. I thought it was a different game, but Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is the best-selling Switch game to date also.
I believe that, yeah.
People like that.
I think what's actually the most interesting thing about this list is that other than GoldenEye, all of these games are actually made by Nintendo. GoldenEye made by Rare, independent developer. I don't know if that
counts.
I feel like this list might be faulty. As much as I love GoldenEye, and it is definitely a multiplayer mainstay, it's not a Nintendo multiplayer game.
Well,
I also think we should just disqualify Bobby from this because he said GoldenEye. So
sorry, Bobby.
Let's just say Johnny and I tied for the win, and Bobby lost.
Yes. Punched it.
Well, thank you for humoring me, guys. Now it's on to the news with Johnny. So now you guys can take
Johnny,
a break,
let's see
get a sandwich.
Fuck this up.
The news is over.
Okay.
I suppose.
Let me tell you about stock shorting. So I'm sure
I've learned a lot about stock shorting.
So have I
recently.
In fact, so I'm sure if you are a person living in this country or around the world, you have probably heard about this story where a bunch of people on the Reddit subreddit
you just got booed.
Decided that they were going to buy a bunch of GameStop stock in an attempt to drive up the price and cause great financial harm to hedge funds who had placed a bet that the GameStop stock that they shorted would be worth a lot less than what they originally bought it for. And whenever they had to pay the money back for those stocks, suddenly it's worth many-fold more than what it was that they were betting it would be. And in fact, one of these places had to ask for a bailout, and they lost like half of their value, I think. And I gotta say, I'm not shedding too many tears for these people who make their fortune gambling that companies will fail. And it's a hedge fund. You are literally hedging bets, and you can't get upset when people figure out that the rules are bullshit and use your own dumb, methods against you, and then say it's not fair and go on CNBC and Fox Business and talk about, oh, well, now we need market regulation and fuck those people.
AOC had a lot more viewers on here talking about this than you do, Johnny.
Yeah, she has a much larger platform than we do. That's
and also this is the most like tangentially a video game story that there is, because we wouldn't be talking about this if it wasn't GameStop.
Right.
And also GameStop has nothing to do with this. Like them seeing their share price explode just to see it crash down again, and now it's basically crashed at this point. It really changed nothing unless some of those bigger higher ups had stock in GameStop. It doesn't the stock price didn't actually represent how well GameStop is doing as a company, because we all know they were doing bad, and that's why they were shorted in the first place. So this is all some manipulation, but it's the same kind of manipulation that the hedge funds use. So fuck them. But also, as any good Hardspace Shipbreaker player or fan knows, capitalism is fucked and is going to kill us all. So I put this story on here because it was like the biggest story in the United States for pretty much all of last week, and there's still some ramifications. You've got apps like Robinhood that stopped the trading of GameStop stock, and you looked that some people looked into them. It's like, wait a minute, but the company that owns Robinhood is the same company that owns one of these hedge funds that was losing their fucking shirt over this shit. Yep. Maybe this all feels fucking shady. That's because it is all fucking shady. Anyway, it's a big story. I felt like we had to mention it, even though one, it's kind of over now, and two, it's not really about video games. But,
they're going to the moon.
They're going to the fucking moon.
Or going to AMC.
Yeah.
One of the two.
Yeah, that if anything more wild happens with that, I'm sure we'll bring it up. More exciting news, maybe. A remastered version of GoldenEye was discovered, and it has since been leaked to the public, I guess. Like you can.
Yeah, somebody. I don't know if this was a Rare employee or a former Rare employee or what happened, but someone has uploaded a long play of all of GoldenEye 007 remastered for the Xbox 360.
Yes.
And also has some multiplayer gameplay at the end as well, so you can see that. But they did it. They did the work.
And it just never
came out. Right. If you remember back in the 360 days, we did get a Perfect Dark remaster. And that game's great. I love Perfect Dark, but obviously it's not GoldenEye. And we knew this was the thing. I think they'd even hinted that they'd been making this, or there were rumors that it was in the process, but being that it had the James Bond license, and I'm sure that's a really thorny thing to get into, so it never saw the light of day. But it's really cool that it was made, it was finished. Like I watched this full stream, and it is finished head to toe. Like,
apologies, because
textures look great.
I did click the link in our note, and I was watching a bit of it, and I realized the audio was coming through on the stream of some gameplay there. So
now we're gonna get muted and banned off Twitch because you streamed
like a fucking blister in the sun. But no, it looks crazy, and I think it's only a matter of time before that game ends up on the fucking internet somewhere where people can play it?
Dan Reichert tweeted out that he was going to be playing some of this on Twitch tonight. So
that game is already out.
Oh, I'm sure there are builds of it that people have or can find.
Yep.
Okay.
So
would you?
cool.
Do you care about that? Like, I know that game has probably like come and went, but that was a really important game for me.
For me too, dude. Like, I cannot tell you the hours that I spent playing that game with my friends and my cousins and making.
Could that game, like that GoldenEye, could GoldenEye make a resurgence back? I mean, do you think that there's a need to play that game again?
No.
Well, yeah, I think so. I mean, GoldenEye specifically, I'm not sure, but James Bond games have continued to be popular, and
I think that like
Hitman and IO, they're making
James Bond GoldenEye seemingly made its way onto the eShop as it was from even like the 64 version, and they somehow baked in multiplayer. Online multiplayer for that. I think that would be a fucking gangbusters experience.
Yeah.
I think it'd be big for a bit, and then it would go away because like people are going to realize, wait a minute, first-person shooters have evolved way past this. But there is something, just even watching that footage of the YouTube long play and seeing, hey, they're not like specifically aiming at something. They kind of have that Doom kind of aim where it's good enough, it's close enough. Yeah. And it's great, like watching that silenced PP7 just pick off people at super far ranges because it's deadly accurate is so good. I think that's rad.
I shot a lot of scientists in the butt cheeks with that gun.
I did.
The best part to me was just how little fog there was. Like the draw distance was so far when you're going to the Severnaya. The snow stages, and you can actually see so far into the map, and it's great. Cool. And then when you have to come back where it's that really darkened red sky, they bring some of that fog back in, but it's purposeful and not just because the game runs like shit. So I just think all that stuff looks really cool, and the faces too. The face textures, they really did like a whole new build for the character models. And then everything else just looks like it got
there wasn't a bunch of dudes wearing fucking pantyhoses for the face.
Yeah.
A potato with Sharpie drawn on top of it.
Jesus, Johnny, what else you got for us?
Let's see. Two in news.
Yeah, do these back to back
because you forgot it existed. Battleborn no longer playable. I never played Battleborn because I heard it was bad. And also, Overwatch was the superior team-based MOBA-like that came out that year.
Battleborn really ruined hobby-grade video games, and that's sad.
Oh, Chase, if you were sitting next to me, I would punch you, right? Hobby-grade. God. Yeah, so from a game preservation standpoint, it is sad that this game is no longer playable in any way, shape, or form. Is it really a huge loss? No, probably not. But it's always like when things like the Matrix Online and stuff like that goes away and is never able to be experienced again, even by people hosting like their own private little servers. It's always, it sucks to lose something like that. Yeah. But I can't say anyone is let down by the loss of Battleborn except for like the 12 people who are still playing it.
Yeah. So it's not like this came out of nowhere. This is they announced I think last year. Yeah, they said like, hey, this is going to shut down, and it's going to shut down February of 2021. But yeah, it's gone now. I also never played Battleborn. I do remember watching some videos for it and going like, that's not the kind of game I'm looking to get into. Actually, wait, I might have played like some demo beta of Battleborn at one point and thought it was bad. I don't know.
I can't say that I'm surprised. I think that you're going to continue. Like everybody's chasing that fucking carrot right now, and like these games can't go on. Like it's just not fruitful for these companies. Certainly, I mean, like they should probably focus more on moving more of their development in-house, creating their own teams, having a in-house team that's solely specifically developing software titles for that platform, not really focus on anything else. Like those seem like the things that are going to stick around, right?
I mean, yeah, servers cost money, and you see people building something like PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds or Fortnite or even something like Overwatch, and you go, oh, look at how much money they're making. We should try making a game like that because maybe we'll also hit big. And if you don't hit big, you've built a game that just can't be played anymore.
Bleeds money.
Well, like I don't even worry about the money part. I'm talking about the preservation part. But like you've made a game that cannot be played anymore. That sucks.
Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I just wish developers would consider that a little bit more when they're making a game. Like a Battleborn, you could put even if they were shitty, you could put bots in this game and have an offline mode where people could play it. Just for, hey, this is what the game is. Let some people remember it. Have a copy that they can buy in a store and take home to their console without having to hook it up to the internet, even if it's a bad game like that. I just think it's a bummer when games have to die like this, even bad games, because that little bit of work might not have been put in to make sure there's something left of it.
And I was mostly poking fun at the next news story that we have, but like I think you bring up a good point, and maybe it's because of the time that we're in, or what's happening, or where the popularity of games are being made. But for me, I don't know. Like I feel like this like crazy spike that happened with Battle Royale games came out, and it seemed like all these studios started dumping money, assets, resources at making Battle Royale games, and I don't recall, and correct me if I'm wrong here, because maybe there's recency bias, maybe I'm just fucking old, but I don't remember there being specifically like we're only making multiplayer games where like that was the focus and that's what they were chasing. Like it took a lot longer, it seemed, back when we were growing up. But I think this trend towards Battle Royale, like there's so many of these that have fucking failed. Like nothing sticks quite like some of these big ones.
I mean, yes and no. Like there were MMOs before Battleborn and Battle Royale games, and like Johnny said, and that one I can forgive because that is something on such a scale that you can't put bots into that. Like what is that anymore? People can make their own servers and they do, but you can't get that similar kind of experience back, like something with the Matrix Online, like Johnny said. You can't get that back. But you go back super long. Pong's a game you have to play with two people. There ain't no one-player Pong.
Pong Royale.
Like Combat on Atari 2600. Combat's a game that might have a single-player mode to it, but like those were primarily single-player games or multiplayer games, and I think they have a similar kind of issue. Where some games are meant for multiplayer, but when you add on that it has to also be online, or anything like Destiny 2, eventually Destiny 1, Destiny 2 will eventually be unable. You can't play those games anymore in the same. In fact, I can't hear that line that the wizard came from the moon anymore. Things get balanced and changed, and then they're no longer there. The loot cave is no longer there. We had great memories of it, but no one will ever be able to experience that loot cave in the same way again, because that's not how the game works anymore. And for better and for worse. And yeah. Johnny, I know you have that story, but let's keep it on the. Yeah. You want to keep it on the Gearbox and skip down?
Sure. Yeah.
Since we're already talking about Gearbox, about Battleborn, there was another Gearbox story you added.
Yes.
I added that.
You did? Oh, right. Yeah, Johnny didn't do his job, of course.
Yeah. Embracer acquires Gearbox in $1.3 billion deal. So the video game holdings company, formerly known as THQ Nordic, also picked up Aspyr. So
it's an interesting move.
Yeah, what does this mean for them? Because THQ Nordic
sounds like it doesn't mean much. Like the press release stuff that I saw, the comments were, hey, we want them to stay independent and keep making games. And Randy Pitchford said, yeah, we're going to keep making games. And he threw a smoke bomb and he still disappeared and showed back up at a medieval times. And
with a floppy disk full of
Yeah.
Magic tricks.
Yep. Go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see.
Hey, they had to get them before
started.
Microsoft did.
Yeah, no shit. What do you guys?
Did they?
I
don't know, man. Like
Borderlands 3 made a bunch of money, right?
Borderlands 3 did well. I know that there was another game that came out. What was the one that they had that launched on? It was like the Melee MMO. Godfall? Is that what it is?
Godfall? No, they weren't Godfall. Were they Godfall? No,
Gearbox
they might have
Godfall.
published. They might have published Godfall, but they didn't make it.
I think they put it out. Let me see.
Let's see.
Oh, wrong one. Wrong window. Too many windows. Anyway, I don't know.
Do they own?
I don't see why.
People Could Fly?
Who, Gearbox?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, who could forget Aliens Colonial Marines?
Johnny, while we're looking that up, keep moving down the list here.
Yeah. So, in more news that should surprise no one, Google has shut down their internal game studios. 150 developers are no longer making video games.
Or Stadia
itself. Yeah. Stadia itself, the service will continue to exist. They said any projects outside of 2021 have been scrapped. And
man,
it's just add this to the list of products that Google kills or partially kills within the calendar
certainly
year.
Didn't think it would be this quick.
God, if only somebody had warned us that
there was a whole website dedicated
this
to all the things that Google has killed.
Man, nobody ever shared their concerns over Google Stadia.
Not once.
Like, man,
not a one. I don't know. Like, there's the technology overall works, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
but not
Stadia works
exactly how they said it would.
Correct.
The thing I saw that made the most sense to me, that really resonated, was Google didn't want to commit to being a video game company. They like their cloud stuff. That is what Stadia is. It's all cloud technology. They're interested in experimenting with cloud and with getting cloud into more households, and that's what this whole thing was. And when they realized that making video games is hard and expensive and time consuming,
all information that was available, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Like somebody put out the stat. Ubisoft employs 16,000 people specifically to make video games. Mm-hmm. Google had 150 people making video games.
I don't see what's wrong with this.
It's a difference in commitment, and it's not saying that you need 16,000 people to make video games. There are all sorts of developers out there that have, 1, 2, 10, 100. There's plenty.
Like Google, I think, is
for a company like Google. Yes, for a company like Google that has money, we know they have money, and also for a company like Google that's looking to make a splash into this, thinking that they can just make a splash because they're Google, and also wanting these developers to pump out multiple yearly exclusives it was ridiculous from the start that this was ever going to be what they thought it was. They didn't have the time, they didn't have the resources, and of course it was going to fail. I feel bad for these people, Jade Raymond specifically, because Jade Raymond is a very smart game developer, and she's made some really cool games and has thought about games in really cool ways. And she didn't get to really make anything at Google, and I feel like she just kind of wasted some of her time. She's out; she can go wherever she wants.
Hopefully, she gets a nice severance or something.
I'm sure. I'm sure. But these other 150 developers, Google has said they're going to try to find. They're going to try to shift them into other departments of Google, which also sucks because these people want to make fucking video games. And you're going to say, well, we'll keep giving you a job, but now you can't make video games anymore, despite us hiring you to make video games. That really sucks too. Similar to other studios that have closed. We saw a lot of Twitter accounts saying like, hey, our studio's hiring, we're looking for people. I mean, Sony Santa Monica is right down the road from one of these studios, the LA-based studio. That studio doesn't even have a name that I could find. It was just like a Google internal studio. They didn't have any games announced that I saw. The only information I could really find is that a former lead position from Sony Santa Monica was leading that studio, and now they're not anymore, obviously.
Yeah.
But the other studio was Typhoon Studios. I don't think Johnny mentioned that, and they're the people who made Journey to the Savage Planet, which Bobby, you played that, right?
Yeah,
you like
game.
that game.
That game's good.
Yeah. So what happens to them? That sucks. Are we just never going to see a sequel to that, or what else they could do? Because I think that game had at least really cool art and some interesting ideas. It's just a bummer. I think it's a bummer all around.
It sucks when things like this happen, for sure.
And it's also a bummer because the Stadia stuff actually does work. You guys mentioned it, but like that technology actually has something behind it. And if somebody out there actually figured out how they could make some fucking games for it, it might have been a successful service. There was just so much wasted potential here, and that's really, really shitty.
Agreed.
Johnny, you want me to take these next two since they're stories that I put out there? All right, the first one, none of us here care about college football specifically, but probably not football in general. But I found it was an interesting story that EA announced that they are bringing back college football. I believe their last game was NCAA football 2014. And so it's been a bit. And the 14 means that it actually came out in 2013. So it's been even longer than you thought. What I found interesting about this, though, is that they kept calling it college football. They did not mention NCAA specifically. And NCAA is the organization that kind of controls all of this stuff. So instead, they're working with the CLC, which is the Collegiate Licensing Company, and they're getting schools and uniforms and traditions and kind of all that stuff, everything except for the players, because the NCAA still has rules against collegiate athletes being able to have their names and likenesses or be paid in any way. And that sucks. That's something that sucks in college sports and has been talked about for many years, and it's actually something that might be getting some traction that will change that, and players can actually start getting paid for their labor and for their likenesses.
That would be nice.
And EA has said, this next edition, they don't know when it's coming out. They didn't announce when it's coming out. They said not this year, I believe. Okay. But when that comes out, it sounds like this one won't have real players in it. But if something changes with the NCAA's rules, they said they're monitoring the situation, and who knows, they might put that in next. I think that's interesting. That's
pretty crazy.
Just
it is.
If you're going to use their likeness, just pay them.
Yeah, well, I mean, the university should pay athletes that are making them millions of dollars just by going to tournaments and things like that and being on TV. But again, we live in a capitalist society that we just say, well, we'll give you an education, and sometimes not even that.
Worth it.
Yeah, let's move on from that, I suppose. The next thing, I just labeled this news story as Fire Emblem fans are dumb, and I think I stand by that. And I'm a Fire Emblem fan, and I'm dumb. Do
you resemble this?
I do. I absolutely do. But while I do resemble the general sentiment, specifically, I was not dumb because I didn't do the dumbass thing that the rest of these idiots did. You guys might know there's a little game out there called Fire Emblem Heroes.
Mm-hmm. I heard of it.
And some people spend some money on it, other people don't. Some people ruin their lives with it. I couldn't say. Anyway, every year on their anniversary, they do a big Fire Emblem poll with their entire audience and anybody, honestly, who wants to get in. They put out a website, and it's called Choose Your Legends. And people get to vote for their favorite Fire Emblem characters, and the top 2 men and the top 2 women will get special versions of those characters in the Fire Emblem Heroes game. And they usually have incredible stats and cool weapons and great looks, and they're awesome. So we've gotten some in the past. I think what they do is that they knock people off the list once they've been chosen. So we've gotten people like Ike from Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn and Path of Radiance. Roy has gotten one.
Yep.
Lynn from Fire Emblem 7. Blazing Blade. Alm from... Actually, Alm has... I don't think Alm has. Silicon Light. I can't remember. It doesn't matter. Anyway, so we went through and we've got a couple to share here. And it was interesting. Some of these characters are not even in the game at all, which is kind of cool. Like this is also the other part to the story is that Intelligent Systems and Nintendo uses this data to kind of give them an idea of, who are popular characters? Who should we consider putting in the game next, even if they don't specifically win this competition? Let's get an idea of what our fans want, and then we can not give it to them because we're evil like that. Anyway, the top 2 vote getters. Number 2 was Marth. You might know him from Super Smash Brothers or Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon, or not the remake, but the port of the first Fire Emblem that just came to the Switch. Marth, the Fire Emblem guy.
I know him.
He has weirdly never won one of these things, which is kind of shocking. But also, I believe in the past they haven't totaled everybody together. So Marth's in a ton of games. He's in Fire Emblem 1. He's in Fire Emblem 3. He's in Fire Emblem 11 and 12. I think Shadow Dragon and New Mystery are 11 and 12. So he's in a lot of Fire Emblem games, but they're all different games. So he doesn't quite. I think the reason why he never won is because people couldn't consolidate and choose the one game. Intelligent Systems went back and said, okay, fine. They're all Marth. We'll just combine all those votes together. So Marth now got second place. Good for Marth. He got 46,699 votes, which was almost less than half, or almost half of what the number 1 male vote getter got. Did you guys click on this so you already know who it is?
Yep.
Okay, Johnny knows. So Bobby, I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
I'll give you a hint here that it was a character from Fire Emblem 3 Houses. So a Fire Emblem that you've played. So you should, in theory, know who this character is. I'll give you better hints here and say that last year, Dimitri and Claude both got the vote. So they're both out. And also Edelgard got the vote. So she's out for the women. So with all that in mind...
Who was the real thirsty
popular
one?
Male character? Do what?
The real thirsty one that was like...
Sylvain?
Yeah. Sylvain.
Yeah, red-haired guy? Sylvain, that's your guess as who it would be?
Mm-hmm.
No, you'd be wrong. I could see you saying somebody like Felix, who was like cool sword boy, who was mean and sad. Wasn't him either. I could see Raphael, who's the big dude who wants all the food. No, not him either. You would have never guessed this, Bobby, because it was the gatekeeper. The gatekeeper, who's not a playable character, who's just a fucking meme that you can talk to him in the fucking monastery.
Guy that tells him, yeah. He won?
He fucking won by a landslide. He got 72,000 votes over Marth's 46,000.
Whoa.
People are stupid.
Holy
shit.
People are
fucking stupid. So not only does he get to be in the game, he gets this incredible special version that's going to be really good and in the meta, and it's fucking dumb. It's fucking dumb. Fuck Fire Emblem fans.
Oh my God.
So this is the game's 4th anniversary. And I'm not saying all the good picks were gone, but come on, guys.
We can do better. We should do better.
Yeah. The women was much less interesting. They were kind of understood. Erica from Fire Emblem 8, The Sacred Stones, got second place, and number 1, Marianne from Fire Emblem Three Houses, the blue-haired girl who likes animals and also might kind of be an animal herself. No spoilers. No spoilers. She's cool, and she's not even in the game. Like she doesn't have any version of her in the game yet. So cool that she's gonna get a chance to be in the game, because a lot of them are. I think Ignatz isn't in the game. The bow guy with glasses. There's a handful that aren't in the game, but quite a few of the Three Houses characters have made the cut and have been in there. But Marianne, who is a very popular character, is not. So good for Marianne. And fuck Fire Emblem fans, because God damn it,
they're the worst.
Gatekeeper, fucking Gatekeeper, really.
Well, I think that's it, right?
There's one last story. We need to end on a positive note here. So, as you may or may not know, the three of us here are fans of the Mass Effect games.
I used to be.
Right. And
something changed. Like something happened, and I became less of a Mass Effect fan. I can't remember what it was.
You can't see him in this format, but there's a Mass Effect friend right over here watching us.
Yeah. Don't worry, guys. We got this.
We got this. So the long rumored, and I think it was even leaked a couple times, Mass Effect Legendary Edition is coming out in May. That will include the first 3 games and all asterisk
so happy
of the DLC for that. And there's only one bit of DLC that's not going to make it that we know of, and that's because the source code for it is actually corrupted. And it is the Pinnacle Station DLC for the first game, which I don't remember playing.
I don't remember that.
I know I played some of the DLC for that first game while I was waiting for Mass Effect 2 to come out. Mass Effect 2, I'm going to say it now, has maybe the best DLC that's ever been released for a game in Shadowbroker.
Very good.
Up there with Hearts of Stone and Blood and Wine from The Witcher 3. But I am really excited to play through these games again. I'll be playing on my fancy computer, seeing how those look. It will be available on Steam, Origin, PS4, and Xbox One. They will play on the new consoles, but they said, or maybe they just haven't committed to making a dedicated version for PS5 and Xbox Series. So we'll have to wait and see for that. But man, I've been toying with the idea of playing these games again for a long time, but I kept holding off because I assumed that there would be a remake or something that would come out on the previous generation of consoles, and that never happened. But now it finally is, and I'll get to hang out with Shepard again and Garrus. I'll get to go to my favorite store in the Citadel.
That's all of them.
Yep. Thane is one of my favorite party members in any game ever.
Still gonna die.
So is Morton Solace. So is that whole.
Did you see that? Did you see that other little news story about Thane that came out recently?
No.
About how you can't romance him or something.
No. It was that BioWare considered coming up with a cure for him in the third game, and then the only reason they didn't is because they'd written a codex entry that they said like, it'd be pretty hard to write a story reason around this. So I guess we just got to let him die. Like they knew how much people liked Thane and might want to keep him in.
I enjoyed the time that I had with Thane.
Thane's very good.
But because some writer just like, I'm sure it wasn't offhandedly, but it feels like, oh yeah, I just wrote a little thing. He's got to die. And then well, fuck, can't do anything. He's dead, I guess. This super popular character we made, guess got to kill him off. Whatever.
Johnny, you did all right. Not the best, but you did okay. And appreciate you taking us through there.
You sound like all of my high school teachers.
Yeah, I mean, I think as we look back at what what task we gave you, it's probably not the best, not the fairest thing for you, but we did what we could, and we'll take it from there.
I'm an underachiever. What can I say?
So as we wrap up here, wanted to say thanks to both of you for hanging out tonight. Appreciated the dialogue around some of these games that we've been playing. We got another stream coming up on Friday night for the show, but this show that you're listening to, hopefully live, is going to be releasing Friday mornings. So make sure to download on whatever platform you can. We're hosted by Anchor. The links are posted here in the chat, as well as on the video up above. But Chase, you hang out and do a really cool podcast called Gamers on the Go, and you should have
sometimes
your own little thing in chat now as well. And so
very cool.
All the links are there to follow along with Chase, from Twitter accounts to his website for that. But Chase, tell us a little bit about Gamers on the Go.
Yeah, I mean, I talk about a handheld game or franchise with a guest, or sometimes two, every show. It has been a bit. It's still something I'm thinking about, so we'll figure something out. We obviously, I think I mentioned this every time now, but there's that Analog Pocket. It's still on its way sometime this year. I think once that's out, there's going to be a lot more interest in maybe getting some other people on to talk about some handheld games.
Totally. And Johnny, we usually ask you like what you've been up to playing with your son. I know you mentioned Minecraft earlier. Anything else?
No, just getting betrayed by my own child, and Minecraft it's been the highlight of my week.
Totally. Well, for us, we're live 3 days a week now. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Mondays and Fridays is usually me playing a game. The next one up for the time being is Deep Rock Galactic this Friday at 10:30 p.m. Central Time.
I don't think that game won the poll though, Bobby.
It didn't. I ignored because I don't have Super Robot Wars.
Got to give the people what they want.
This show is powered, if you listen to it as a podcast, by Anchor.fm. We're currently live on Twitch and YouTube. You can find some of our dedicated quick looks on our YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe wherever you can. We're trying to get a bit more active on some of these video platforms, and YouTube specifically. If you can give us a like over there or follow our page, we're trying to get that.
Bell.
We're trying to get that URL secured, and we can't get that until we get some more followers.
That like button.
Smash the
button.
button.
And our intro music too. Should give them a shout out.
Yeah, and Patrick Brown, friend of the show, always an eternal host of the show. He does the music. Founding member of the show. Does our lead-in music that we have. He's got a Twitch channel as well, P Brown the Aeon, and I need to get a social link set up for him here. But if you follow our actual show notes on any of our podcasts, you can find a link to all of his comings and goings, both on Twitter and on his website. But he's incredibly talented, makes some great music, and he's an all-around good dude. Go check out what he's up to as well. We host a few other people. I think tonight we'll be hosting the Nerdy Bit Crew on our channel. So if you are tuned in currently, come back in about an hour, and they'll be going live with their show. But we appreciate you all tuning in, and we hope you have a great time. And I think is next week a deep dive? I think it is.
Let me check the schedule.
I'll put something together.
It technically says deep dive with Johnny, but Johnny, if you end up needing to pass, I can probably handle that. So let me know.
We might have a deep dive next week. We'll let you know. But we are live Wednesdays at 7:30 Central here at the Casual Hour on Twitch. We will be back later on. Have a great time.